Today we are discussing the interview questions and answers for CompTIA A+ Core 1. You can download the complete list of CompTIA based questions from the link provided in the description. Our interview question based on CompTIA A+ Core 1 is: explain the concept of RAID 0, that is RAID 0 and RAID 1. Your answer should be RAID 0. Stripping combines multiple disks into a single logical unit to increase performance and capacity but offers no redundancy. RAID 1 mirroring duplicates data across multiple disks to provide data redundancy and fault tolerance. Our next interview question is: what is a DNS server and how does it work? Your answer should be a DNS, that is Domain Name System Server, translates domain names, for example www.example.com, into IP addresses that computers can use to communicate over a network. It works by resolving domain names to IP addresses through a distributed hierarchy of DNS servers. Our next interview question is: describe the purpose of a CPU cache. Your answer should be a CPU cache is a small amount of high-speed memory located on or near the CPU that stores frequently accessed data and instructions. It helps improve CPU performance by reducing the time needed to access data from main memory. Our next interview question is: explain the difference between SATA and NVMe SSDs. Your answer should be SATA, that is serial ATA. SSDs use the SATA interface to connect to the motherboard and have slower read or write speeds compared to NVMe, that is non-volatile memory express SSDs, which use the PCIe interface and offer faster performance. Our next interview question is: what is the purpose of a proxy server in network security? Your answer should be a proxy server acts as an intermediary between clients and servers, forwarding client requests to servers and returning server responses to clients. It can be used for caching, content filtering, access control, and anonymity. Our next interview question is: describe the difference between symmetric and asymmetric encryption. Your answer should be symmetric encryption uses a single key for both encryption and decryption, while asymmetric encryption uses a pair of public and private keys for encryption and decryption respectively. Our next interview question is: what is the purpose of a network switch? Your answer should be a network switch is a networking device that connects multiple devices in a local area network LAN and forwards data packets to specific devices based on MAC addresses. It operates at the data link layer of the OSI model. Our next interview question is: explain the purpose of DHCP relay agents. Your answer should be DHCP relay agents are used to forward DHCP, that is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol messages between DHCP clients and DHCP servers located on different subnets. They help extend DHCP services across multiple subnets. Our next interview question is describe the purpose of a UPS that is uninterruptible power supply in a server room. Your answer should be a UPS provides emergency powers to servers and networking equipment in the event of a power outage, helping prevent data loss, system downtime, and hardware damage. It provides protection against power surges and fluctuations. If you are preparing for any CompTIA based certifications, you can download the complete list of valid, tried and tested questions and answers from the link provided in the description below. Today we are discussing the interview questions and answers for CompTIA A+ Core 1. You can download the complete list of CompTIA based questions from the link provided in the description. Our interview question based on CompTIA A+ Core 1 is: what is the purpose of a CPU? Your answer should be the CPU, that is Central Processing Unit, is the primary component of a computer responsible for executing instructions, performing calculations, and managing data processing tasks. Our next interview question is explain the difference between a hard disk drive HDD and a solid state drive SSD. Your answer should be HDDs use spinning magnetic disks to store data and have moving parts, whereas SSDs use flash memory chips and have no moving parts. SSDs generally offer faster read and write speeds and are more durable than HDDs. Our next interview question is describe the steps involved in troubleshooting a network connectivity issue. Your answer should be steps may include checking physical connections, verifying network settings, pinging devices, testing with different devices, checking for IP conflicts, verifying DNS settings, and using network diagnostic tools. Our next interview question is: what is BIOS and UEFI firmware and how can it be updated? Your answer should be BIOS/UEFI firmware is responsible for initializing hardware components during the boot process. It can be updated by downloading the firmware update from the manufacturer's website and following the provided instructions, typically involving a bootable USB drive or software utility. Our next interview question is explain the purpose of a firewall in network security. Your answer should be a firewall is a network security device or software that monitors and controls incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predetermined security rules. It helps protect against unauthorized access and malicious activities. Our next interview question is: what is the purpose of system backups and how would you perform a backup? Your answer should be system backups are essential for data product protection and disaster recovery. They involve copying data from a system to another storage medium, such as an external hard drive, cloud storage, or tape drive, using backup software or built in backup tools. Our next interview question is describe the differences between HTTP and HTTPS. Your answer should be HTTP, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol, is a protocol used for transmitting data over the internet, while HTTPS, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, is a secure version of HTTP that encrypts data transmitted between the client and server using SSL or TLS encryption. Our next interview question is, what is the purpose of an anti-malware software? Your answer should be, anti-malware software is designed to detect, prevent, and remove malicious software such as viruses, worms, trojans, spyware, and ransomware from a computer system. If you are preparing for any CompTIA based certifications, you can download the complete list of valid, tried and tested questions and answers from the link provided in the description below. Today we are discussing the interview questions and answers for CompTIA A Plus Core 1. You can download the complete list of CompTIA based questions from the link provided in the description. Our interview question based on CompTIA A Plus Core 1 is, explain the purpose of the Windows registry. Your answer should be, the Windows registry is a hierarchical database that stores configuration settings, options, and preferences for the Windows operating system and installed applications. It is used to manage system settings, hardware configuration, user preferences, and software settings. Our next interview question is, what is the purpose of a domain controller in Active Directory? Your answer should be, a domain controller is a server that manages user authentication and access control in a Windows domain environment using Active Directory services. It stores user accounts, group policies, and security settings for network resources. Our next interview question is, describe the purpose of a ping command. Your answer should be, the ping command is used to test the reachability of a host on a network by sending ICMP echo request packets and waiting for ICMP echo reply packets. It is commonly used to troubleshoot network connectivity issues and measure network latency. Our next interview question is, explain the purpose of a subnet in networking. Your answer should be, a subnet is a logical subdivision of an IP network that allows network administrators to divide a large network into smaller, more manageable segments. It helps improve network performance, security, and manageability by controlling broadcast traffic and segmenting network traffic. Our next interview question is, what is the purpose of a KVM switch? Your answer should be a KVM, that is keyboard video mouse switch is a hardware device that allows users to control multiple computers or servers using a single keyboard, monitor, and mouse. It helps save space, reduce clutter, and improve efficiency in multi-computer environments. Our next interview question is explain the purpose of a file system. Your answer should be a file system is a method used by operating systems to organize and manage files on storage devices such as hard drives, solid state drives, and optical disks. It provides a structure for storing, retrieving, and managing files and directories. Our next interview question is describe the purpose of a DHCP server. Your answer should be a DHCP, that is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol server, is a network server that automatically assigns IP addresses and other network configuration parameters to devices on a network. It helps simplify network administration and ensure that devices have valid network settings. Our next interview question is what is the purpose of a network gateway? Your answer should be a network gateway is a device or software component that connects different networks and facilitates communication between them. It acts as an entry and exit point for data traffic between networks and provides routing, security, and protocol conversion services. If you are preparing for any CompTIA based certifications, you can download the complete list of valid, tried and tested questions and answers from the link provided in the description below. Today we are discussing the interview questions and answers for CompTIA A Plus Core 1. You can download the complete list of CompTIA based questions from the link provided in the description. Our interview question based on CompTIA A Plus Core 1 is what is the purpose of the CompTIA A Plus certification? Your answer should be the CompTIA A+ certification validates the foundational skills and knowledge necessary for a career in IT support and technical roles. Our next interview question is can you explain the difference between RAM and ROM? Your answer should be RAM, that is random access memory, is volatile memory used by the system to temporarily store data and program instructions that are actively being used. ROM, that is read-only memory, is non-volatile memory used to store firmware and essential system instructions that do not change. Our next interview question is describe the process of installing an operating system on a computer. Your answer should be the process typically involves booting the computer from installation media such as a DVD or USB drive, following on-screen prompts to select language, time zone, partitioning, and formatting of the hard drive, and finally installing the operating system files. Our next interview question is What is a MAC address and how is it different from an IP address? Your answer should be a MAC, that is Media Access Control Address, is a unique identifier assigned to a Network Interface Controller (NIC) by the manufacturer. It operates at the data link layer of the OSI model. An IP, that is Internet Protocol Address, on the other hand, is a numerical label assigned to each device participating in a computer network that uses the Internet Protocol for communication. Our next interview question is: explain the difference between a virus and malware. Your answer should be: a virus is a type of malware that is capable of copying itself and spreading to other computers or systems. Malware is a broader category that encompasses various types of malicious software, including viruses, worms, trojans, ransomware, spyware, and adware. Our next interview question is: what is the purpose of an operating system? Your answer should be: an operating system OS manages computer hardware and software resources and provides common services for computer programs. It acts as an intermediary between the user and the computer hardware, facilitating communication and resource allocation. Our next interview question is: describe the boot process of a computer. Your answer should be: the boot process involves the computer's firmware initializing hardware components, loading the BIOS or UEFI firmware, performing power on self-test POST, locating and loading the operating system kernel into memory, and finally transferring control to the operating system. Our next interview question is: what is the purpose of BIOS/UEFI? Your answer should be: BIOS, that is Basic Input Output System, or UEFI, that is Unified Extensible Firmware Interface, is firmware used to perform hardware initialization during the boot process and provide runtime services for the operating system. It also allows users to configure hardware settings and perform system diagnostics. If you are preparing for any CompTIA based certifications, you can download the complete list of valid, tried and tested questions and answers from the link provided in the description below. Today we are discussing the interview questions and answers for CompTIA A+ Core 1. You can download the complete list of CompTIA based questions from the link provided in the description. Our interview question based on CompTIA A+ Core 1 is: explain the purpose of a VPN tunnel. Your answer should be: a VPN, that is Virtual Private Network Tunnel, is a secure and encrypted connection established between two endpoints over a public network such as the Internet. It creates a private and secure communication channel, allowing users to transmit data securely over an untrusted network. Our next interview question is: what is the purpose of a RAID hot spare? Your answer should be a RAID hot spare is an unused drive in a RAID array that remains inactive until another drive in the array fails. While a drive fails, the hot spare automatically replaces the failed drive, helping maintain data redundancy and fault tolerance without manual intervention. Our next interview question is describe the purpose of a UPS monitoring software. Your answer should be UPS monitoring software is used to monitor the status, performance, and battery health of UPS, that is, uninterruptible power supply devices. It provides real-time alerts, notifications, and reports on UPS events such as power outages, battery status, and load capacity. Our next interview question is explain the purpose of a VPN concentrator. Your answer should be a VPN concentrator is a network device or server that aggregates multiple VPN connections from remote users or branch offices into a single secure connection to a corporate network. It helps centralize VPN connections, improve scalability, and simplify VPN management. Our next interview question is what is the purpose of a loopback adapter in networking? Your answer should be a loopback adapter is a virtual network interface that allows a computer to communicate with itself over a network. It is often used for testing network configurations, troubleshooting network issues, and simulating network traffic without the need for physical network hardware. Our next interview question is describe the purpose of a BIOS or UEFI firmware update. Your answer should be a BIOS or UEFI firmware update is used to update the firmware of the computer's BIOS, that is basic input or output system, or UEFI, that is unified extensible firmware interface. It helps fix bugs, improve system compatibility, add new features, and enhance system stability and performance. Our next interview question is what is the purpose of a network sniffer, that is packet analyzer? Your answer should be a network sniffer, also known as packet analyzer or network analyzer, is a tool used to capture and analyze network traffic in real time. It helps network administrators monitor network performance, troubleshoot network issues, and detect and analyze network attacks or anomalies. Our next interview question is explain the purpose of a computer power supply unit PSU. Your answer should be a computer power supply unit PSU is a hardware component that converts AC, that is alternating current power from a wall outlet into DC, that is direct current power required by the computer's internal components. It provides stable and regulated power to the motherboard, CPU, and other components. If you are preparing for any CompTIA based certifications, you can download the complete list of valid, tried and tested questions and answers from the link provided in the description below. Today we are discussing the interview questions and answers for CompTIA A Plus Core 1. You can download the complete list of CompTIA based questions from the link provided in the description. Our interview question based on CompTIA A Plus Core 1 is: explain the purpose of a restore point in Windows System Restore. Your answer should be: a restore point is a snapshot of the system state at a specific point in time created by Windows System Restore. It allows users to restore the system to a previous state in case of system instability or issues caused by software installation or configuration changes. Our next interview question is: what is the purpose of a DNS cache? Your answer should be: a DNS cache is a temporary storage area that stores previously resolved DNS queries to improve DNS lookup performance and reduce network traffic. It helps speed up the process of resolving domain names to IP addresses by storing recently accessed DNS records locally. Our next interview question is: describe the purpose of a network interface card (NIC). Your answer should be: a network interface card (NIC) is a hardware component that connects a computer or device to a network. It allows the device to send and receive data over the network using protocols such as Ethernet or Wi-Fi. Our next interview question is: explain the purpose of a system log in Windows Event Viewer. Your answer should be: the system log in Windows Event Viewer is a centralized repository for recording system events, errors, warnings, and informational messages generated by the operating system, drivers, and applications. It helps administrators troubleshoot system issues and monitor system performance. Our next interview question is: what is the purpose of a RAID controller? Your answer should be: a RAID controller is a hardware or software component that manages and controls the operation of RAID arrays. It provides functionalities such as disk stripping, mirroring, parity calculation, and data redundancy to improve performance and fault tolerance. Our next interview question is: explain the purpose of the Windows Registry Editor (regedit). Your answer should be: the Windows Registry Editor (regedit) is a tool used to view, edit, and manipulate the Windows Registry database. It allows users to modify system settings, configure hardware devices, and manage installed software by editing registry keys and values. Our next interview question is: describe the purpose of a UPS bypass switch. Your answer should be: a UPS uninterruptible power supply bypass switch is a feature that allows users to bypass the UPS and connect directly to utility power in case of UPS maintenance or failure. It ensures continuous power supply to critical devices without interruption. Our next interview question is: what is the purpose of a screen resolution in display settings? Your answer should be screen resolution refers to the number of pixels displayed on a screen horizontally and vertically. It determines the clarity, sharpness, and details of images and text displayed on the screen. Higher resolutions offer more detailed and sharper images, while lower resolutions may appear pixelated. If you are preparing for any CompTIA based quest certifications, you can download the complete list of valid, tried and tested questions and answers from the link provided in the description below. Today we are discussing the interview questions and answers for CompTIA A+ Core 1. You can download the complete list of CompTIA based questions from the link provided in the description. Our interview question based on CompTIA A+ Core 1 is: explain the purpose of a computer power supply unit PSU. Your answer should be a computer power supply unit PSU is a hardware component that converts AC, that is alternating current power, from a wall outlet into DC direct current power required by the computer's internal components. It provides stable and regulated power to the motherboard, CPU, and other components. Our next interview question is: describe the purpose of a hardware firewall. Your answer should be a hardware firewall is a network security device that protects a network by filtering incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predetermined security rules. It helps prevent unauthorized access, block malicious traffic, and secure the network from external threats. Our next interview question is: explain the purpose of a crossover cable in networking. Your answer should be a crossover cable is a type of Ethernet cable used to directly connect two devices of the same type, such as two computers or two switches, without the need for a network hub or switch. It crosses over the transmit and receives wires to allow direct communication between the devices. Our next interview question is: describe the purpose of a UPS, that is uninterruptible power supply self-test. Your answer should be a UPS self-test is performed by the UPS to check its internal components, battery health, and overall functionality. It helps ensure that UPS is operating properly and can provide backup power in case of a power outage. Our next interview question is: what is the purpose of a GPU, that is graphics processing unit, in a computer? Your answer should be a GPU is a specialized processor designed to handle graphics rendering tasks such as rendering 3D graphics, processing images and videos, and accelerating compute-intensive tasks like machine learning and scientific simulations. Our next interview question is: explain the purpose of a TRIM, that is stream command, in SSDs, that is solid state drives. Your answer should be the trim command is used to inform an SSD which data blocks are no longer in use and can be erased internally by the SSD's garbage collection process. This helps maintain SSD performance and extend its lifespan. Our next interview question is describe the purpose of a VPN client software. Your answer should be a VPN client software is used to establish a secure and encrypted connection to a VPN server, allowing users to securely access corporate networks, resources, and services over the Internet. Our next interview question is explain the purpose of a CMOS reset. Your answer should be a CMOS reset is performed to restore the BIOS settings to their default values. This can resolve issues caused by incorrect BIOS settings or hardware changes. Our next interview question is describe the purpose of a post that is power on self-test process during bootup. Your answer should be post is a diagnostic process performed by the BIOS during bootup to check the hardware components of the computer such as the CPU, memory, and storage devices to ensure they are functioning properly. If you are preparing for any CompTIA based certifications, you can download the complete list of valid, tried and tested questions and answers from the link provided in the description below. Today we are discussing the interview questions and answers for CompTIA A+ Core 1. You can download the complete list of CompTIA based questions from the link provided in the description. Our interview question based on CompTIA A+ Core 1 is what is the purpose of a system restore point in Windows? Your answer should be a system restore point is a snapshot of the computer's system files, registry, and settings at a specific point in time. It allows users to revert the system to a previous state in case of system instability or issues caused by software installation or configuration changes. Our next interview question is explain the purpose of a VLAN that is virtual local area network. Your answer should be a VLAN is a logical network segment that groups devices together based on factors such as department, function, or security requirements. It helps improve network security, manageability, and performance by segmenting network traffic. Our next interview question is what is the purpose of an anti-static wrist strap when working on computer hardware? Your answer should be an anti-static wrist strap is used to prevent electrostatic discharge (ESD) when handling computer hardware components. It helps protect sensitive electronic components from damage caused by static electricity. Our next interview question is describe the difference between a phishing attack and a spear phishing attack. Your answer should be a phishing attack is a type of cyber attack where attackers send fraudulent emails or messages impersonating legitimate entities to trick recipients into revealing sensitive information or performing actions. Spear phishing is a targeted form of phishing attack that specifically targets individual or organizations using personalized information to increase the likelihood of success. Our next interview question is: what is the purpose of a absurd statement in database management? Your answer should be: a absurd statement is used to insert a new record into a database table if it does not already exist, or update the existing record if it does. It combines the functionality of both insert and update operations. Here are the next set of 15 interview questions related to CompTIA A plus Score 1 along with their answers. So your next question is: explain the purpose of a subnet mask in IP networking. Your answer should be: a subnet mask is used to divide an IP address into network and host portions. It helps identify which part of an IP address belongs to the network and which part identifies the specific host on the network. Our next interview question is: describe the purpose of the Windows Task Manager. Your answer should be: the Windows Task Manager is a system monitoring utility that provides information about running processes, CPU uses, memory uses, disk activity, and network activity. It also allows users to manage running processes, monitor system performance, and troubleshoot issues. Our next interview question is: what is the purpose of a static IP address? Your answer should be: a static IP address is a manually configured IP address that does not change. It is typically used for servers, network devices, and devices that require a consistent IP address for remote access or hosting services. If you are preparing for any CompTIA based certifications, you can download the complete list of valid, tried and tested questions and answers from the link provided in the description below. Today we are discussing the interview questions and answers for CompTIA A Plus Core 1. You can download the complete list of CompTIA based questions from the link provided in the description. Our interview question based on CompTIA A plus Score 1 is: explain the concept of system virtualization and its benefits. Your answer should be: system virtualization involves creating virtual instances of computer systems, enabling multiple operating systems to run on a single physical machine. Benefits include improved resource utilization, easier management, cost savings, and enhanced flexibility. Our next interview question is: what is the purpose of a UPS, that is uninterruptible power supply? Your answer should be: a UPS is a device that provides emergency power to a computer or other devices in the event of a power outage. It helps prevent data loss, system crashes, and hardware damage by providing temporary power until regular power is restored or the system is shut down safely. Our next interview question is: describe the process of troubleshooting a printer that is not printing. Your answer should be steps may include checking printer connections, verifying printer settings, restarting the printer and computer, updating printer drivers, clearing print queues, checking for paper jams or low ink or toner levels, and running printer diagnostic tests. Our next interview question is, what is the purpose of an IP subnet mask? Your answer should be, an IP subnet mask is used to divide an IP address into network and host portions. It determines which part of the IP address identifies the network and which part identifies the specific device on the network. Our next interview question is, explain the purpose of a VPN, that is virtual private network. Your answer should be, a VPN is a network technology that establishes a secure and encrypted connection over a public network such as the Internet, allowing users to securely access and transmit data between remote locations as if they were directly connected to a private network. Our next interview question is, describe the difference between a hub, switch, and router. Your answer should be, a hub is a basic networking device that connects multiple devices in a network, but it operates at the physical layer and does not perform any packet forwarding or filtering. A switch is a more advanced networking device that operates at the data link layer and forwards data packets to specific devices based on MAC addresses. A router is a networking device that operates at the network layer and forwards data packets between different networks based on IP addresses. Our next interview question is, what is the purpose of a CMOS battery in a computer? Your answer should be, the CMOS, that is complementary metal oxide semiconductor battery, is used to provide power to the CMOS memory chip, which stores BIOS or UEFI settings and maintains the system clock when the computer is powered off. Our next interview question is, what is the purpose of a MAC address filtering on a wireless network? Your answer should be, MAC address filtering is a security measure that allows or denies network access based on the MAC addresses of devices. It helps prevent unauthorized devices from connecting to the wireless network. If you are preparing for any CompTIA based certifications, you can download the complete list of valid, tried and tested questions and answers from the link provided in the description below. Today we are discussing the interview questions and answers for CompTIA A Plus Core 1. You can download the complete list of CompTIA based questions from the link provided in the description. Our interview question based on CompTIA A Plus Score 1 is, explain the concept of virtualization. Your answer should be, virtualization involves creating virtual instances of computer hardware, operating systems, storage devices, or network resources. This allows multiple virtual machines to run simultaneously on a single physical machine, enabling better resource utilization, improved flexibility, and easier management. Our next interview question is, what is the purpose of an IP address? Your answer should be an IP address, that is Internet Protocol address, is used to uniquely identify a device on a network and facilitate communication between devices using the Internet Protocol. It allows devices to send and receive data packets across a network. Our next interview question is, describe the difference between IPv4 and IPv6. Your answer should be IPv4, that is Internet Protocol version 4, uses 32-bit addresses, which limits the number of possible unique addresses and has led to IPv4 address exhaustion. IPv6, that is Internet Protocol version 6, uses 128-bit addresses, providing significantly more available addresses and addressing other limitations of IPv4. Our next interview question is, what is DHCP and how does it work? Your answer should be DHCP, that is Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, is a network protocol used to automatically assign IP addresses and other network configuration parameters to devices on a network. DHCP servers lease IP addresses to clients for a specific period, after which the IP address may be reassigned to another device. Our next interview question is, explain the purpose of DNS. Your answer should be DNS, that is Domain Name System, translates domain names, for example www.example.com, into IP addresses that computers can use to communicate over a network. It facilitates human-readable domain names to be used instead of IP addresses, making it easier to navigate the Internet. Our next interview question is, what is RAID and what are its different levels? Your answer should be RAID, that is Redundant Array of Independent Disks, is a data storage virtualization technology that combines multiple physical disk drives into a single logical unit for the purposes of data redundancy, performance improvement, or both. Different RAID levels include RAID 0, RAID 1, RAID 5, RAID 10, and more. Our next interview question is, how do you troubleshoot common hardware issues on a computer? Your answer should be, troubleshooting common hardware issues involves identifying symptoms, isolating the problem, and performing diagnostic tests such as checking cable connections, running hardware diagnostic tools, updating drivers or firmware, and replacing faulty components. Great, here are 15 more interview questions related to CompTIA A+ Core 1 along with their answers. If you are preparing for any CompTIA based certifications, you can download the complete list of valid, tried and tested questions and answers from the link provided in the description below.